this channel. I suppose I could give a bit of an introduction to the channel. So, I don't have any, set in stone plans for the piano. For the channel. But, obviously there's going to be some ASMR. I'm thinking of making some music as well. And, other things. We'll see what happens. Video essays maybe and things like that. So with this first video, I had the idea to I don't know if I had the idea to make this a video before I started doing this, or if I had the idea to make it a video after I'd already started. I'm not too sure. But basically, I started chatting to ChatGPT about. I just had an idea to have a debate, basically, about capitalism versus socialism. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I would be on the side of socialism, and I wanted it to be on the side of capitalism. So it started out, and it kind of just gave a summary of some of the points of. Well, I suppose I can just read it out. He says, so I can present the arguments typically associated with capitalism and respond to counter-arguments related to socialism. Let's begin. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production and the pursuit of profit. Here are some key points in support of capitalism. 1. Efficiency and innovation. Capitalism encourages competition, which drives efficiency and innovation. Businesses strive to provide better goods and services at lower prices to attract consumers, leading to technological advancements and overall economic growth. Number 2. Individual freedom. Capitalism emphasizes individual economic freedom. People have the autonomy to choose their careers, start businesses, and make economic decisions, which fosters personal growth and responsibility. Number 3. Incentive to work hard. In a capitalist system, individuals are motivated to work hard because they can directly benefit from their efforts. The potential for higher profits encourages entrepreneurship and risk-taking. Number 4. Allocation of resources. Through the price mechanism, supply and demand forces determine the allocation of resources. This helps ensure resources are used efficiently and reflect consumer preferences. Number 5. Diverse consumer choices. Capitalism encourages a diverse marketplace with a wide range of products and services, catering to the varying tastes and needs of consumers. Okay, so that's capitalism. It sounds amazing, but he basically converted me, so you'll notice that my argument's not, it's not the best argument or anything, but it's a start anyway, and this could maybe be a series because there's so much more to explore. So he goes on anyway and goes into socialism and, chats about the benefits of socialism, and I think he kind of, if I was just reading that and thinking, and it was a person that had written it, then I would kind of be like, yeah, I think that person prefers socialism than capitalism, but that could be, it's definitely me being biased. Anyway, so I said, I want you to make the first argument in favor of capitalism. So ChatGPT said, certainly. Here's the first argument in favor of capitalism. Economic efficiency and innovation. One of the primary primary strengths of capitalism is its ability to foster economic efficiency and encourage innovation. In a capitalist system, businesses are driven by competition to offer better products or services at competitive prices. This drive for efficiency results in the optimal allocation of resources as businesses aim to minimize costs while maximizing output. The profit motive plays a central role in capitalism. When individuals or companies can earn profits by satisfying consumer demands, they are incentivized to innovate and improve their offerings continuously. This leads to the development of new technologies, processes, and products that enhance productivity and drive economic growth. Moreover, capitalism allows for the free flow of ideas and the formation of entrepreneurial ventures. Startups and small businesses have the opportunity to enter the market with innovative ideas and compete against larger established firms. This dynamic fosters a climate of creativity and risk-taking with the potential for significant rewards for successful entrepreneurs. In capitalist economies, markets act as signaling mechanisms indicating the changing demands and preferences of consumers. Prices adjust to reflect scarcity and abundance, guiding producers to adjust their production accordingly. This automatic feedback mechanism helps prevent surpluses or shortages, leading to a more efficient use of resources. In summary, capitalism's focus on competition, profit, and individual initiative drives economic efficiency and spurs innovation, resulting in a dynamic and adaptable economic system that has historically shown remarkable progress and growth. Now, there was a bit here, and I go, as you say, I start off my answer basically, but I tried to press enter to start a new paragraph, but it just submitted it. So there's a bit in between where I stopped him generating. So I'll just move on and not go through that and just go through my rebuttal, shall we say. As you say, businesses are driven by competition, which in theory gives us better products or services at competitive prices. I would argue that we actually get worse products under capitalism than under something more like socialism. The capitalist system is structured in a way that profit is the only thing that matters. Everything other than profit is meaningless. If it means an increase in profits, companies will make their products cheaper at the sake of its quality and longevity. They will also ignore human rights violations, they'll start wars, they'll turn a blind eye, or maybe actively participate in anti-Semitism, racism. No big companies stop selling goods in apartheid South Africa or, say, current day Gaza, which is also an apartheid. Pollution, homophobia, or the literal execution of homosexuals. Let's just keep buying their oil anyway, and let's have a World Cup in their country, and and the list goes on. You say that the drive for efficiency results in the optimal allocation of resources, but I would argue that we see a tremendous amount of waste in the current capitalist system, which then causes the layoffs we have seen many of the tech giants like Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, and more partake in. Innovation is a key positive in capitalism, there's no doubt about that, but there is evidence to suggest that innovation would be there is no evidence to suggest that innovation would be any worse in a socialistic society. Also, innovation in capitalism is centered around the products and services, technologies that companies think will bring them profit, which means that other less profitable areas will be overlooked when it comes to that innovation. In a socialistic society, we would not be driven by profit, but by what society needs at that moment. The current capitalist society embodies the toxic mantra survival of the fittest. It says the weak should shrivel and perish, while the rich live in luxury with disgusting amounts of excess property and greed. You say that capitalism allows the free flow of ideas and the formation of entrepreneurial adventures. I would argue that on the former, it regularly blocks the free flow of ideas. Take, for example, all of the research suggesting that the legalization of all drugs would benefit society, like in Portugal, or like the heroin clinics in Switzerland, or the heroin places where people can shoot up heroin in Canada, like in Vancouver and whatnot. You take the there's more as well in Venezuela, where the best president in history, probably, what's his name again? 2 seconds. I found out, no, it's not Venezuelan, it's Uruguayan president Jose Mujica. He lives in a shack and earns like $700 a year, doesn't have a limousine or anything like that, because he was a prisoner in they kept him in a disused tank for I think it was years, but he was as emaciated anyway as what's it called, like people in concentration camps. He was like, he had to drink his own piss. He literally talked and listened to, like, he heard them speak, like the insects and frogs and stuff, and made friends with them. What a lot. He legalized marijuana sort of before it was cool as well, and but the thing is that then America, like all countries that have tried that, America try and strong arm them to not do it, and they've threatened like, yeah, you're legalizing drugs, you know what we'll do, we'll cut off your financial aid, we'll you won't be able to export any goods to us, or maybe we'll raise the tariffs on that by like 200%, or and so on, but where was I? Yes. So take, for example, all of the research suggesting that the legalization of all drugs would benefit society, or to go further back, the countless doctors and scientists who contacted the harbinger of the war on drugs, Harry J. Anslinger. He is a douchebag, but he ignored all of their pleas for reason. And would pick out the one doctor's letter out of about 1,000 that reported that, say, cannabis had turned someone crazy and then they killed their whole family, or cocaine gives the black man, but they didn't use that word, the strength of 5 policemen, and they go on rampages, or even it's just as simple as like drugs were basically given minorities kind of a backbone, and they're kind of talking back to us, and that is just unacceptable, but regarding capitalism's promotion of the formation of entrepreneurial ideas, I would point to all of the bookstores that have gone out of business with the rise of Amazon, and there are many, many more examples along that vein. You say that we can prevent surpluses or shortages due to the market acting as a signaling mechanism, but I would argue that it doesn't seem to work very well, especially if you're not lucky enough to be in a first world country. But even focusing on the first world, capitalism drives the incentives for business to stock far more than they need, which leads to tremendous waste of food and other products. Under socialism, we would produce enough of what we need and less of what we think we want. In summary, capitalism sucks. 360, no scope, easy game, easy life. Now give your counter argument. So ChatGPT. challenges and criticisms that have been raised about capitalism. Let's go through these issues one by one and explore how they might be addressed within a capitalist framework without dismissing the legitimate concerns you've raised. Profit over equality. Oh no. Profit over quality and ethical considerations. This is a criticism often leveled against capitalist systems. However, it's also worth considering that consumers in capitalist systems hold considerable power. Businesses ultimately need to appeal to their customers to make profits. Increasingly, consumers are demanding not just good products, but ethically produced goods. Companies that ignore these demands risk losing out in the marketplace. Waste and layoffs. Waste, in particular, is a significant issue in many economies, not just capitalist ones. However, in capitalist systems, there's a strong incentive to reduce waste since wasted resources represent lost profits. Layoffs, while painful, are part of the dynamic adjustment process in capitalism, allowing resources, including labor, to shift from declining industries to growing ones. That said, more needs to be done to help those affected by such changes through things like retraining programs, job placement assistance, and social safety nets. Innovation. Or number 3, innovation. While it's possible that socialism could also foster innovation, historically, many of the most innovative yes, that word. Countries have been capitalist ones. In capitalism, the potential for profit provides a powerful incentive for innovation. However, it's essential to have public investment in areas where private companies are less likely to invest, like basic scientific research. Number 4, inequality. Capitalism can indeed lead to income inequality, and it's a serious concern. However, a purely capitalist system isn't necessarily one without any wealth redistribution or social safety nets. Many capitalist countries have progressive taxation systems and robust social programs to help address inequality. Now, just as an aside here before I go to number 5, I am making a roll up here, so that's any crinkling sounds in the background, that's what that would be. But I thought, ASMR, crinkly, how it works out. So 2 seconds. Oh yeah, here's the ashtray. Right, okay, back to number 5. Free flow of ideas. While some ideas may face resistance in a capitalist society, overall, the freedom to express new ideas and challenge the status quo is a key aspect of many capitalist societies. It's true, though, that some powerful interests can resist change that threatens their position, which is why robust legal systems and regulatory bodies are necessary. Number 6. Business failures and monopolies. It is a fact that in a capitalist system, some businesses will fail as others succeed. However, this also creates opportunities for new businesses to arise. Regarding monopolies, they can indeed be a problem when they emerge. But many capitalist countries have antitrust laws specifically designed to prevent a single business from controlling an entire market. Overproduction. Number 7. Overproduction and underproduction. Market mechanisms aren't perfect and can sometimes lead to overproduction, leading to waste. or underproduction, leading to shortages. However, market signals generally work quite well, especially when compared to the difficulties many centrally planned economies have faced in accurately gauging consumer demand. In conclusion, while capitalism has its flaws, many of the problems you've highlighted are not intrinsic to capitalism itself, but result from how it's implemented or regulated. It's possible to imagine a version of capitalism that addresses these concerns better through improved regulations, social programs, and an engaged and active citizenry demanding better business practices. It's also crucial to acknowledge the successes of capitalism in raising living standards, driving innovation, and providing consumer choice. That said, the debate between capitalism and socialism often isn't a binary choice, and many countries adopt mixed systems that combine elements of both. Okay. Well, let me know what you thought of the debate. I will make a straw poll and put it in the description and maybe pin it to the top of the comments, so you can vote on who you think won. Now the thing is that like when ChatGPT went through capitalism at the start, there was like efficiency innovation, which was what kind of we started talking about, was the first one. So I can make this a series and go back and then tackle the other ones, like individual freedom, he said, is a benefit of capitalism, incentive to work hard, allocation of resources, and diverse consumer choices. But I could see this, I could chat for a long time about this. So yeah, let me know, and all the best.